Paul, let's talk about this fight. It seems you've really gotten under Lorenz's skin somehow, man.
Yeah,
what do you make of all that?
I don't really make anything of it, to be honest with you. Like I said, I didn't really think too much of him, didn't know too much about him till he hit the free agency market, so I'm not really too concerned about it. I think the fact that he's getting so heated up it's comical. But I hope that he brings that same intensity into the ring, and that you know, as he's done in the past, he keeps the fights. Well, not that he has an option to, but the fight stays standing, and that we put on a good show for the fans.
I mean, as many fights as you've had and all around the world, I mean,
yeah.
do you learn something about this guy? I mean, do you see something about his character when it's not like this is some heated grudge match? And
Yeah. I don't know. I think the fact that I'm so dismissive of him is why he feels a little bit insulted, and you know, he's bringing his emotions into play, and you know, it's whatever. Like you say, I've been doing this a long time. I can read someone pretty well, and for me, it's just another fight. Like I say.
You said you weren't really too familiar with him, but break it down. Let's put the emotional stuff aside. Just as a fighter, you've watched his tape now, I assume. What do you think about the guy?
He's a diverse, dynamic striker. You know, he seems to bring it the whole time, and that, I mean, you know, he's going to stay on his feet and he's going to come forward and use a variety of different attacks. And you know, that as a fighter, that's what I see. You know, the personal thing that really doesn't bear too much from me in this fight. But as a fighter, you know, he seems pretty capable. Yeah, he's a decent enough opponent.
What do you think about his debut? I mean, you know, everybody, obviously you're a UFC veteran. I mean, everybody expects these UFC guys to come in and wreck shop, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden it didn't play out like that. What did you make of his debut?
Well, Douglas Lima is a very tough guy, and you know, they just announced a Rory fight, and I think Rory's going to have his hands full with Doug. But you know, so, and he's a champion. I thought that Lorenz, in my opinion, he didn't bring it. Like, if you see, you know, I approached the fight by this is a champ. This is a former champion. I need to be in his face. I need to go get it. I need to throw heavy shots, and I need to take him out. That was what I went into that fight. And for the first 30 seconds, you know, it didn't go my way, but I stuck it out, and I kept coming forward. I didn't take one backward step. And I don't think Lorenz brought the same intensity or the same sort of mindset that I had. And you know, for me, especially that his fight was a title fight. If you're in a championship fight, then you got to bring it. You got to go for broke. You got to, you know, you got to get after it. And I don't think he did.
What about this fight for you? I mean, you've had a couple losses recently, but it's been against the top of the division. But does this feel like an important fight for you to kind of show where you still are, or where you still belong?
I'm not looking at it like that. I know some of the press and the media and some of the fans may look at it like that. For me, it's just another fight against another capable opponent. Like you say, I've been in with the best guys, you know, Rory, Douglas Lima not too long ago. And throughout my career, I fought tough, top opposition. So I'm not really too worried about this fight. I'm just going to go in there, perform, and like I say, I don't believe anybody who is going to stand with me and generally mean it, stand and trade for however long the fight may play out, will win. I just don't, you know, I think there's two people in my career, I said this to Gareth Davis, that have actually felt the heat and stayed on their feet and not attempted to clinch or go for a takedown, and that's Douglas Lima and Nick Diaz. They're the only two guys, you know, with 53 fights. They're the only two guys that I've hit, and they've stayed up. They haven't tried to take me down or play a different game. They've kept coming after it, and I hope Lorenz does as well.
You think he will be? Because I mean, that's the game plan, right? Don't stand with it.
We'll see. You know, like I say, I've seen him do nothing else. I've seen a little bit of footage of him at no-gi competitions, and you know, doing a little bit of jits, which doesn't impress me much either. And I've seen him, you know, attempt some wrestling, some of his fights, but for the most part, he's been standing up and he's been coming forward and he's been throwing shots and his kicks and his unorthodox attacks. So hopefully he continues to fight the way that he has. But like I say, 53 fights, if the most time when I hit somebody, it goes a different way.
I know you've admitted you're kind of starting to wind it down a little bit,
yeah.
right? What's still on the list? What are the goals? Like, what do you got to get done before you feel comfortable saying, I've had
just
enough?
Big fights, you know. The title, obviously, I've continued to have the big fights at this late stage of my career, but the title, super fights, you know. I've been in, Rory is a kind of super fight, but, you know, I just do like some crazy shit, like the old school Pride stuff, and just fight the big names, and, you know, fucking Vanderlei Silva, or fucking somebody like a big name from the past who has been known to stand and bang. I would say Melvin Manhoff, but he's my buddy, so that would be just interesting fights, you know. You wanted to have a long career like I have. You have to keep changing and setting different goals, and at this stage, I'm you know, obviously I would love to fulfill my dream in collecting a big championship belt, but more so I would love for people to remember my name when I step away from the sport. And I feel like being involved in big fights, like the fights that I have done, is a way to you know, cement my legacy.
And by the names you're rattling off, you're throwing weight classes out the window?
Yeah, weight classes, anybody. Whoever wants it, fucking just bring it, you know what I mean? It's whatever. And that's always been my mentality in the fight game, like, a fight's a fight. It's a fight, fuck it. Let's just, you want to fight whoever wants to fight, you fight him. That's my job.
Can't talk to you and not ask you about MVP. Is that a name that's on the list or not?
Yeah, MVP is, yeah, obviously is on the list because he's at Bellator, and he is a guy who has created his whole career on social media, and the fans have seemed to like that kind of shit. But I'm a real fighter. You know, I've been in the game a long time, and like I said at a previous interview, when I was fighting here, San Jose, 2007, 2008 against Dwayne Ludwig, MVP was on some jigsaw mats in a leisure centre in Nottingham, fighting in trousers for orange juice and sandwiches. And I was here, you know, co-main event and fighting against big names like Dwayne Ludwig, who at the time had the fastest knockout in the UFC, or just passed since he was with Strikeforce or whatever. But, you know, I've been in this game a long time. I don't like to use this name veteran because I still consider myself a pretty young, fresh. But yeah, the MVP fight will happen. It's a fight that the UK fans and asking for, and for the most part it's because they don't like him. So if they don't like him, you know, and I think that's what riles him a little bit, you know, the people on the keyboards, you know, MVP did a spinning kick, he did this, he did that. But the real fans that follow the sport that I see in the street is like, please knock this guy out, please. So, you know, the market's there for the fight, so hopefully it happens.
First things first, obviously Lorenz Larkin though. So you play this thing out in your head. Is this one of those all-time Paul Daley classics, just standing there?
I feel like, you know, everyone knows the left hook is my punch, but, you know, I just say in most pre-fight interviews, I say, look, yeah, I'm just going to knock him out, but I really feel like the left hook is going to be the punch that puts him to sleep. I've seen some stuff, I've seen the way, you know, he comes forward sometimes a little recklessly, like he don't even know what he's doing, and I think that if he fights as he has done previously and he comes forward with his little blitz charge and he gets hit with that left hook, he's going to go to sleep.